Welcome in. It is a Clippers Talk Live. Just a little midday edition here. Just after lunch, I'm at a Mosland. Going to be back with you guys. Had two shows for you yesterday. An earlier show with Justin Russo talking about Big Zoo, what he's been able to do so far this season, and then some Clippers talk after dark last night while the Lakers-Suns game was going on. Did a little play-by-play and rejoicing in the fact that the Suns got the victory. And then talked more about Terrence Mann and my position on him in the starting lineup right now, and also James Harden. And if he's looking fatigued. But it is good to be with you guys. As I see people are just entering the chat now. Let me know if you can hear me. If you like the new background. Still doesn't take up the entire screen. I guess I have to figure out how to zoom in a little bit more with my camera. That's a little bit annoying, but doing the best I can with technology. So speaking of, coming up here on the show, we're going to hear from Coach Lue and from some of the Clippers players today at practice. As TT Wims said, let's go Clips. Hi, Adam. Hi, TT. Bring the camera in a little bit closer here. More people trickling in as I just put the post up on X. You can see we got the Intuit Dome behind me. I like the green screen technology we got going on now. I'm kind of excited about that. We'll see how it goes. TT said, I'm not worried about Terrence Mann. Okay. Just would be the third straight year where he started slow. And the Clippers can ill afford to have that with Kawhi currently out and Paul George in Philadelphia also currently out. But I understand the position because he has always been able to pull out of it. And it's only 3 games. Let's not blow things out of proportion, as the Joker said while he's backing out of the room. After the dude goes, enough with the clown. Yeah, Dark Knight, one of my favorites ever. So we're going to hear from Coach Lue in just a little bit here. But I was listening to some of the scuttlebutt regarding the Clippers and their surprising start. Surprising to some people when it comes to the defense. I'm not surprised. Dan Ill said, I finally got you online. Let's go Clips. Let me know if I'm getting your name right. It seems to be a difficult one for me. Dan Isle. We're in denial. Clippers are 2-1 on this young season. Tomorrow night, they're back at Intuit Dome, taking on the Portland Trail Blazers, front end of a home back-to-back, taking on Portland on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, Halloween, they will be facing the Phoenix Suns. So, I think we can start with this. Coach Lue spoke just a little bit earlier at practice. I know he gave a little bit of an update regarding Mo Bamba and Kawhi Leonard's health. So, I do want to hear from him. And this is coming to our friends from Hoop Jab. Make sure to subscribe. It's a great YouTube account where they often are posting some of the Clippers audio that's out there. So I'll blow it up for you guys. I'll share it, and then I'll also play it for myself. JMI1324 said, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. Just got finished with running 10 miles, so just absolutely scarfed down a protein bar a second ago. Got my Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, Dr. Pepper Zero going. Back at Intuit Dome. And I'm interested to hear, because I haven't listened to it yet, but this Clippers practice audio that was just released a little bit ago. I'll share the screen. Again, make sure to give Hoop Jab a follow here. And I'll play it for you guys. And then I'll be listening at the same time here.
Coach, among the guys who are sort of on the outside looking in of the rotation, what are they bringing to the practice setting that you might not be seeing?
Just coming to work every single day. I think picking up what we're doing, making sure they're ready. So when we call their name, they're ready to go. So it's been a great environment. Like I said, guys been working, guys been putting the work in on both sides of the floor and individuals as well. So just staying ready. When your name is called, you got to be ready to go.
What's the difference between last year and the year before and this year? Is it just more minutes?
Yeah, more minutes. I think playing more minutes, playing against starters instead of bench players. But just get more minutes, and we know at any point we can get going offensively.
Chris is among the league leaders in deflections, so is Derrick. I think Chris at like 12, Derrick at 10. What have you seen that's made them, obviously they're good defenders, but what have you seen that's allowed them to be so active early this season?
Yeah, I think just the way we, teach them defensively, we want to create and generate more steals, more opportunities to get out in transition. And those are two guys that can do it. Guard one-on-one, but also be in the passing lanes to get deflection and steals. And when you see a guy throw a lazy pass or a guy dribbling next to you, you got the freedom to go for the steal, go for the ball. And they've been very good at that.
In your experience, is those instincts, are they teachable, or do some guys just have them?
Some guys just have it. You can try to teach as much as you want, but some guys just have it. And those two guys, they have it.
What's the plan this week for Kawhi and for Mo as far as how they're strengthening their knees and possibly get back to practice?
They're out the next 2 games is all I know. So I'm just focused on getting our guys ready to play, continue to keep executing, getting better defensively and offensively. And those guys are coming along. They're putting in the work every day to get better. But they're out the next 2 games, so we got to focus on us.
How do you manage the practice schedule in general? Because this is the last time you had back-to-back days off at all until the first week of December. So you got 35 weeks where you play a game either back-to-back or every other day. Like, how do you manage that?
Just things we need to clean up and get better at. We'll have more walkthroughs and live practices, but we'll always try to get it safe when we can do 10 minutes live, and usually JVG's doing that on the defensive end. But we still got to have walkthroughs, we still got to teach, we got a new team, we got young guys, and so it won't be a lot of off days, but it'll be more walkthrough days than anything.
So I was due to the first 3 games. Is there anything that surprised you about the way he's played, or has it really felt like this was just a matter of opportunity?
I think opportunity, playing through him more, giving him more touches, and I think he's going to get better throughout the course of the season. He's missing some easy shots around the basket that he normally makes, but like I said, so far he's been really good.
You mentioned that the game is slowing down for him now. That's the course of just having been in the league for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. The game slowing down. I think playing through him a little bit more, and I think him and James having that good connection. I think James made a lot of bigs, really good. Over his career, so just those 2 guys be on the same page as well.
Does he appear more confident, having the ball in his hands, making the right pass?
Yeah, I think so.
How much more do you guys trust him now to have to make the right pass?
I trust him a lot. I mean, if they're going to put 2 on the ball and he's catching the ball in the pocket versus blitzes, we know he can make the right pass and right play. We got to get a little, I don't know to tell him. Yeah, so I think he's okay. Yeah.
On top of that, though, he's leading the league in rebounds.
Okay.
You know why? He's trying to do that double-double. He's having, right now, a really good year.
Yeah, no, he's been really good. I think just coming in and letting them know that we're going to try to post him more, we're going to try to get the ball in his hands more, and he's taking advantage of it. I think played a lot of minutes early on, but we needed it, just for his rebounding, like I said, his presence on the floor offensively. So got to find days like this to give him some rest, but we need him on the floor right now.
You talked about having the guys learn a new defense, some different things this year. Are you surprised, given the opponents that you've had, just how quickly guys have picked up on different things and how good you guys have been defensively?
Yeah, I am surprised this early on, but like I said, our guys are putting in work. It's been explained to them very well. They understand. We make a mistake, like we're going to stop it and we're going to do it again until we finally get it. And then if we don't get it, just having more walkthroughs, just having more sessions where we just lock in to those specific areas we got to get better at. Yeah.
All right. So, a couple of things to talk about there from Coach Lue, if you're just joining. This is a Clippers Talk Live. I'm Adam Osland. We're going through some of the practice audio that just came out from earlier today. First, Coach Lue, then a couple of players here. We got Nicolas Batum coming up and Derrick Jones Jr. That Mexican Nar wanted to ask thoughts on Harden being on starting 5 season 2. I haven't watched season 1 yet. I heard it's fantastic. Rafael Romo said, hashtag hip to clip. Mike Dang said, let's go Clippers defense. Rafael said, I have to go back to work. Any update on the claw? Literally just played it from Coach Lue. Just now. It just happened. We just got the update. Like right now. Like a second ago. Quote, those guys are coming along, putting in the work every day to get better. There's your big update. Did you hear that? Those guys are coming along, putting in the work every day to get better. Those guys meaning Kawhi and Mo Bamba. Denzi said, hello, y'all, from Russian-speaking fan base. There are plenty of us. Oh, right on. Welcome to Clippers Talk, Denzi. So, Coach Lue, some of the stuff he said there, first of all, he was asked about the guys who aren't in the rotation right now and how they are staying ready. Just because they're on the outside now doesn't mean they won't be used at some point this season. The difference in Norman Powell, he basically just said minutes. He's going up against starters now and not bench guys. As for the deflections with Dunn, put him in the dungeon, and Derrick Jones Jr., airplane mode, those guys have natural instincts to do it. And it is an emphasis on defense right now to create more turnovers, to get out and run more. So they got the guys that are able to facilitate that, get those steals, get some easy buckets that way. The schedule coming up is a little bit unforgiving. This was a question from Law Murray. So in the next 36 days, the Clippers have 21 games. That means whatever practice days there are have to be relatively light. You heard from Coach Lue on that, but they can still go through walkthroughs. They can still get better. Bryant Lovo said 2-1, straight for the haters. Not saying we are contenders, but we are tough to play, especially at home, even though we lost our first home game. Bryant Lovo said, man is having a rough start, though. It's only 3 games. As for Ivica Zubac, a lot to dig into there with Joey Lynn asking him multiple questions, I think it was. But the opportunity is what Coach Lue stressed at first. That's been the biggest difference with Ivica Zubac. That's what I've been telling everyone who's talking about most improved player. I was listening to LA Clips Forum earlier, and they're talking about how different he looks. And some people are kind of making it seem like all of a sudden Ivica Zubac just made this leap. That is not the truth. He has looked this good in flashes for the Clippers when they've actually gotten him the basketball more. He's almost had a 30-30 game. He has had big explosive games here and there, 32 against Jokic before his career high, and then they go away from him. So I think it's more so the touches, the opportunity. It's not like all of a sudden he developed a left-handed hook shot. He's had it. But Coach Lue did say the game's slowing down a little bit, the connection with James Harden. They do trust him a lot as the coaching staff. Yeah, he's going to get the ball in his hands more. And he still thinks he can be better because he's missed some easy ones. That's just timing and reps. He did say, Coach Lue, he was surprised how quickly they picked up this new defense from Jeff Van Gundy. That was interesting to hear. But also mentioned the guys have been putting in the work. Got some comments here. That Mexican Nara said, who gets the axe when the law comes back, or will Lue run an 11-man rotation? The law? You mean the claw? I don't know. Right now, it could be Kevin Porter Jr. if he continues to play like this. I'm not worried about it until Kawhi comes back. He's out indefinitely. Let me know when he's back. Timothy said, we still need to play faster. Our pace is at 16th. They're trying. That's still faster than last season. It's also hard. They have a guy who is a methodical playmaker in the half court who was the second best player in isolation scoring last season in James Harden. Who was he second to? Kawhi. So they still have a makeup with your head of the snake being a slow it down type of player. Like, you can play as fast as you want to, but they need to play in control. You want to play really fast? Well, then you get the Russell Westbrook experience, or it can be erratic. TT said, I love this defense. It's tough. Same. Bryant Lobos said, Croatian sensation, Big Zoo. Denzi said, how many training sessions will the team have in this 36 days? How does it usually work? How many practices? It depends. Like, they play a really good game. They might give them a day off. I don't have an exact number on that. Timothy said, the faster we play, the better our offense is going to improve. Not necessarily. I mean, they played at a slow pace last season, and they still had one of the best offenses in the league. Just playing faster doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the best offense. Bryant Lobos said, Zoo haters can EA. Kaylee said that weird Ivica Zubac's leap talk really comes after every big game of his. Just remember Mavs game 1 from the playoffs. Same talk. Yeah, you had 20 and 15. People just love to forget about our top 10 center. He averaged 16 and 10 against the Dallas Mavericks last season. I still don't think, if you go off of last season right now, can he get into the top 10? Yes. But I can make the case there's easily 9 to 10 guys in front of him currently. Bryant Lobos said, is that hat available at the Clippers store? Should be, unless it's sold out. Did I get the last one? No, I bought this a while ago. TT Wim said, Zuno hype is real. Zubas plus Uno for James Harden. Yawning Tears said, hey, my man, question of the day for me. What do the Clippers have to do differently to seal games and not let other teams come back when they get up? A theme raising my blood pressure. I mean, like Chris Dunn said recently, post-game after their win over the Golden State Warriors, teams are going to make runs. The Clippers do it. You can't expect other teams never to do it either. It is innate to basketball. That's what happens. The important thing is that they close things out. The only thing I would say on that is to not have those bad turnovers where Derrick Jones Jr. was bringing the ball up the floor to give James Harden some rest, and out of a timeout, he threw it into the backcourt. That's the stuff that can't happen. Kevin Richards said, Adam, I have the perfect realistic player for us to trade PJ Tucker for. Oh, no. The only question is what extra. So you're already saying it's going to take extra. So you don't have the perfect player for us to trade PJ Tucker for. You're saying they have to trade more. So you're really undercutting your own point immediately with talking about trading for Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors. You want a power forward. You want a guy to play the 4 position. I understand that. I like him, but he also hasn't been much of a three-point shooter. So if you have this guy next to Ivica Zubac, your spacing is really going to suffer. If you're saying he's playing the 4, Kawhi's now a 3, it's not the perfect guy because he can't shoot. He's a 33% career three-point shooter. I guess he does take some at least. The last couple of seasons, he's been a little over 2 3-pointers taken per game, but I don't know about perfect player. And again, you'd have to give up more, which you didn't explain conveniently. Drip Galore said another set of back-to-back games wins for both. Hope so. Denzi said, does DJJ live up to your expectations so far? Derrick Jones Jr., he's exceeded expectations so far, guys. He's been phenomenal on the defensive end. He's been everything they've asked for there. He's taking threes. He's making threes. Derrick Jones Jr. has been incredible through 3 games. TT Wims said, I like the Clippers have been tested early. Every game has been close. I agree with that. That is a big deal. They feel more battle-tested than you should be after 3 games. Timothy said, not the Russ experience, though. This team is not good as half court like they were last year because we had PG and Kawhi, but we added athletic players that can run the floor. I understand. But you're not going to be able to get out and run every time. Like, that takes turnovers every time down. If you average, basically the team who averaged the most fast break points last season, it might have been the Pacers, but we're talking about 18 points per game. So maybe 10% or 12% of your points are coming in the fast break in transition. You can't push it every time down. It doesn't work like that. That's not basketball. You take advantage of opportunities when there's turnovers. You have to be opportunistic and get into transition when you can, but to just act like they can play so much faster when James Harden is at the controls is unrealistic, Timothy. And if you keep going down this road, I don't know, you may be disappointed. Mike Dang said PJ Tucker for Peja Stojakovic, yeah. Bryant Lobo said, I wouldn't want to see this, but if T-Man keeps struggling, the dungeon fits with the starters. He does. It could happen. That Mexican Nara said, should Derrick Jones Jr. continue running the 4 when Kawhi comes back? I mean, they're going to switch off. It's not that big of a deal. But I do like the way he has played so far offensively. And the defense has been there. He's been able to guard up. He guarded Jokic a couple of possessions, Derrick Jones Jr., when they went small. Kevin Richards said, yeah, he's a great fit. It is completely unrealistic to think we're going to trade PJ Tucker for Chris Boucher. Thank you. For a rotation player, not have to give up anything extra. I'm hoping maybe a second-round pick. Guys, it's going to take more than a second-round pick. That's not enough. You're not being realistic. Timothy said, DJJ, man, done. KPJ running the floor would take the load off of Harden. He has his moments of being tired. They are doing that now. I'm not sure what you're watching. They've obviously put an emphasis on running the floor more. Kaylee said, I'm quite excited about the Clippers against the Blazers. I hope we can play hard no matter the competition, unlike a few games last year. Don't take anyone lightly. Completely agree. Great point, Kaylee. It's a test against the Portland Trail Blazers because it's really a battle against yourself. Are you going to get up for that game? Kevin Richards said, I'm not saying Boucher is a starter, great backup big. Okay, how are they getting him? Anyone going to reason through that? Don't think Boucher is a real upgrade. We should find someone who can create shots for himself. Grant Williams. I mentioned Grant, and I don't know exactly the direction the Charlotte Hornets are going or what vision they have for him and how much they like that player, but I've been talking about him this offseason. Adrian said, hey, I can see Bones Highland going in if KPJ is terrible in these 2 home games. Maybe. Here we go, Timothy. You're not letting go of a point. You know what happens to people like that here? Adam, have you seen fast break points per game for Clippers compared to the entire league? I know it's only 3 games so far. Let me look up transition points. You can't, I mean, I don't think you understand. I don't know how many times I have to bring it up. They have James Harden at the controls. He is a slow, methodical player. He has succeeded greatly in this league by doing that for a very long time. To think all of a sudden at the age of 35, he can up his fast break points, where the Clippers are at 12 per game right now, which puts them at 18. But there's some 21 fast break points per game. That's unrealistic. They're not going to end the season there. Let's go back to last year. 18.7 was the number 1 team when it came to fast break transition points. That would be the Toronto Raptors. Were they good? No. Washington was second at 17.6 transition points per game last season. Were they good? No. Is your argument good here, Timothy? When you look at that? No. I'm sorry. The top 2 teams in transition points weren't good last season. So acting like that leads to wins or makes you have a top offense just isn't true. Drip Galore said, chat doesn't know how trades work. Yeah. Some people. Bryant Love said, dude, you look drained. LOL. Love that you're working hard to keep us updated. Cheers. Getting back to work. Appreciate you, Bryant. Bastion Schweinsteiger said, James' 3-point shooting will regress to the mean. I don't care about the efficiency. The floor game has been incredible. Plus, he's still giving you 25 a game and getting by guys without the 3 ball. I agree with you. He's also shooting 35% at the rim right now, which is really low. But it's going to progress to the mean. Regress when it needs to go back, progress when it needs to go forward, and it does right now, especially after a game where he went 2 of 12. He's shooting 36% overall, but I agree with you. He has still been incredible. Gulio said, we are a very tough team, and we have already shown it. Coached very well with good roster depth. We found the right fit, especially in defense, and we can annoy any team waiting for Kawhi to return. Very good comment. Agree. Mikey Lapp said, we are getting our first win at the Dome tomorrow. Agree. They better. Do not play down to the competition. Joshua Smith said he is not talking about Grant Williams. He's talking about Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant makes over $30 million the next 4 seasons. They aren't getting Jeremy Grant. And if they do, they'd have to give up a lot. And that is taking up a lot of salary during the 2026 offseason, which I don't think they want to do. That Mexican Nara said, Harden should be on the court with man or done at all times to help with bringing the ball up. DJJ should not be bringing the ball up. I mean, Dunn was out there, and DJJ still brought it up. I think they're seeing what they have with him with the handles early in the year. That's my guess. All right, I want to hear some more from some of the other players today. We heard from Coach Lue a little bit earlier at practice. How about hearing from Derrick Jones Jr. here, guys? How does that suit you? Hopefully well, because I'm playing it. So I'm going to share the screen. Timothy, let it go. In fact, timeout. Also, top 10 fast break points teams were Mavs, Celtics, OKC, Lakers, and Pacers. So, like, half the teams were good that were in the top 10. So it's a mixed bag. So it doesn't equal you being a great offense, and you should probably get off this point. Yes, the Clippers are only at 12 points per game in the fast break so far. It's dependent on turnovers, taking advantage of those. It's not as easy as it was in the preseason with teams, missing a defender and letting a leak out or cherry pick play happen, which the Clippers were getting a lot of in the preseason. No, Grant can't create his own shot, but we don't need him to. He can shoot threes and guard up. He can guard fours. He can guard five. He can guard threes. That's the point. You can play a guy like that next to Ivica Zubac because he can stretch the floor with his three-point shooting. Go look at the numbers. But yeah, Timothy, it's just, you bring up a point. I kind of destroy it, pointing out Toronto and Washington led the league in transition points last season, and they were bad on offense and bad teams. So you're a little too fixated. Got to move on. Got to hear from Derrick Jones Jr. here. I will share the screen. I'll play it for myself also. Appreciate you guys. We'll get back to your questions, but I want to hear from Derrick Jones Jr. today at practice. Let's not get too far off track here. DJJ.
Chris, so far, one of the league leading deflections. I'm sure it's not surprising to you, but those instincts defensively, is that something teachable, or do some guys just have that?
Some guys have it, some guys learn it. And for me, I was one of those guys that I could play defense, but obviously I watched a lot of film and watched guys' tendencies, so I learned a lot more on the defensive end, which is why I feel like, which is why I'm as confident as I am in my defensive game.
Chris talks about having to watch like one or two plays of guys. He catches a lot of instincts. Are you similar? You got to watch only a couple and you kind of know what guys want to do?
Something like that. I'm more like a on the court instinct guy. I just let my instincts take over while I'm out there. Just know that my intentions are always well.
I feel like this team is constructed, at least currently, where you have an opportunity to showcase a little bit more of your offensive game. Ty was saying when you came over, you had a talk with him about that mid-range shot that he's kind of giving you that green light.
Oh, my bad. You said one time Coach Ty said something and I started listening.
Oh, no, you're good. I was saying that when do you think this team as currently constructed gives you an opportunity to kind of showcase a little bit more of your offensive game? Because Ty was saying particularly that mid-range shot is something that you mentioned that he's giving you the green light for.
Yeah. It's just period. All around my whole game, I just feel like I'm able to be more free, play more free, play careless. Not careless, but not carefree. Be less in my head. Just being out there playing the game the right way and knowing that if I make a mistake, it's the game of basketball. Nobody's perfect in this game, but just know that I'm always get back on the other end.
And over the years, there's been a lot of comparisons between James and Luka. Obviously, at this stage of James' career, he's not asked to do exactly what he was doing back in those Houston days. But having played with both of them, do you see some of those similarities?
Yeah, their vision, both of them, their vision is crazy. They see the whole floor at all points. They can get to their spots whenever they want, get to the line as many times as they want, knock down whatever shot that they want. So, there are similarities, but also there are two different basketball players. I'm glad that I'm here. Cool.
As strong as this defensive start has been, what are the areas that you guys are still looking to improve in over these next couple of weeks or games?
Being more physical on the defensive glass and not being backdoored as much. It's not as much defense, but our turnovers have been hurting us a little bit. So that's one thing that we're trying to show up on too.
Have you gotten used to this routine now with this basket, little contraption on top of the rim?
I'm gonna tell y'all again, you'll never get used to anything like this. No. It's, for me, it's not like crazily impossible. Like I make shots, but it's just the ones that go down and then just hit the inside of the rim and run out. Those are the ones that can get to me. But I get over to the regular basket and I'm back to normal, so I'm good.
You felt that translate in games already?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like my arc on the ball when I shoot the ball is a lot better. I mean, my confidence shooting the ball is through the roof right now. Just let it fly.
So DJ, the Blazers changed a lot since you were there, but Ant Simon's still there, and obviously he's emerged as basically the lead ball. What have you kind of seen from him that he does now that perhaps maybe didn't have as much when you were assistant?
What do I see from him now that I haven't seen? The kid was doing the same thing since I was there. Like, he always been Anthony Simon. Like, he always been his player. I'm not surprised that he's the player that he is on that team at all. I knew that he was going to take that step and be that guy that the team they lean on and they need his offensive power. So, I mean, that's one thing I knew about his game from first day I even met him. When he was a lot younger than what he is now. So, the kid always was special. He got game.
With you guys implementing a new defense you kept under here, are you kind of surprised at how good, considering the competition you faced, how good you guys have been on that end so far?
Nah, I mean, we got defenders here. We got a bunch of dogs that like playing defense. I'm not surprised about anything defensively. I mean, as long as we lock into the game plan and do our schemes how we're supposed to get them done. I mean, it's still working for us, so why back away from it?
Appreciate you, Derrick.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Derrick.
All right. Just heard from Derrick Jones Jr. at practice. Coming up, Nicolas Batum. Want to sort through some of the stuff he said there. He was asked a question about his defensive acumen before I get back to your guys' questions. And if he could always play defense, and he said, yeah, but he watches a lot of film, watches tendencies. He's mentioned this before. He lets his instincts take over, though, as well out there. He can freestyle a little bit. Offensive game. This was asked by Joey Lynn. It was a question I asked Coach Lue opening night about Derrick Jones Jr. looking better in the mid-range and taking that shot when he hadn't the last couple of years, but he did it in the preseason. And Coach Lue told me that Derrick Jones Jr. told the coaching staff that midi is part of his game. He's like that. So Joey Lynn asked if they are, encouraging him to look for his offense more. And he said, yeah, he's got a carefree attitude, less in his mind about making a mistake. You make a mistake, you go back and play defense on the other end. But that mid-range shot and him looking for his offense, that is something that you love to see with this Clippers team. With Derrick Jones Jr., I think showing some growth on that end or showing what he's capable of, and they're giving him that opportunity. And when you don't have to look over your shoulder, it makes you a much more confident player out there. He was talking about the arc on the easy rim they've been using, which is this contraption that makes it tougher to get shots to go in, but it helps with your arc. And he said his confidence is through the roof right now. And he's shooting like over 60% from three, I think. So no wonder. He compared James Harden and Luka Doncic and their vision and how they get to their spots. But he also made sure to state that they're two different guys. And he said, I'm glad I'm here. I don't know if that was shade toward Dallas or Luka, but he just made sure to say, I'm glad I'm here. Some of the issues they have had, he said, being more physical on defensive rebounds, not being backdoored, and turnovers. Then he was asked about Anthony Simons, who they will see tomorrow night, who's an absolute flamethrower when he gets it going. He played with him in Portland. He's not surprised with the way his career has taken off. He's also not surprised, Derrick Jones Jr., with how good they've been defensively so far. They got a bunch of dogs who like to play defense. Here's a question from Julio. Hi, Adam. Question for you. Do you think the new arena can have an impact on attracting any new superstars at the deadline or in the next offseason? Yes and yes. It makes a big difference. I don't know if you guys saw the video that was circulating with Devin Booker shaking the hand of Steve Ballmer and talking about what an amazing experience it was at Intuit Dome opening night. Yawning Tears said, breaking news, Blake Griffin in talks with Amazon to be the face of their NBA coverage next season. Good for Blake. Let's get that jersey retired. Legend said, if we somehow get a ring this year, does that make Harden all-time top Clipper? What do you think? If he brought the Clippers their first ring, what do you think he's going to be behind other guys? No. Of course it would. I don't really think that's happening as they're currently constructed, but hey, dare to dream. Let's see what happens. Can they get Kawhi back healthy? David R. said, keep up the good reporting, Adam. Clipper Nation is very appreciative, very excited about the defensive side of the ball. They still have room to improve on what has already been a good start. I agree with you. A lot of room to improve, and they're 2-1. Kaylee said, you can just hear how DJ's mentality fits perfectly into this Clippers identity. Hardworking, humble. Let the actions in the game speak before anything. Yeah, I love Derrick Jones Jr. and what he said, and then also his actions so far. Legend said, is it possible to trade PJ Tucker to Europe and get something decent for him, a.k.a. Real Madrid or a Barcelona player? Guessing that's a joke. Mikey Lapp said, love Derrick Jones Jr. I think he's a championship piece. I mean, he was just in the NBA Finals. That Mexican Nara said, thoughts on the Wade statue? I saw the D Wade statue and the head being used in place of Zordon's in the Power Rangers with that blue background, and it made me laugh because it was far too similar. And some of the stuff people are doing with it right now, it is hilarious. Jonathan Ing said, sounds like the weird rim contraptions, I think they're called the Easy Rim, have been paying off for helping Derrick Jones Jr. with his threes. Hope his three-point percentage is sustainable. Well, let me just check on that because I don't think, now I could be wrong, but I don't think him shooting 60% from three is sustainable, Jonathan. Will be an invaluable weapon for the Clippers with spacing. Yes, he provides some spacing as long as he knocks down threes. But, guys, Derrick Jones Jr. is a career 32% three-point shooter. 60% shooting from three is not sustainable for Steve Kerr with the shortened three-point line back in the 3 years in the 90s when they had it. If he can shoot above 35% this season, I will be happy while getting those attempts up is very important for this team to help us with floor spacing. Timothy said, Wade's statue looks like PJ Tucker. Well, he did play in Miami. Bonesaw said, is Brian Seaman? Inside joke. Legend said, do you believe they're going to bring the first Clipper ring? I think he was trying to spell Harden. This season, not as currently constructed, no. They had a window the last 5 years. Injuries derailed that. Now, you get a healthy Kawhi and a healthy James with this roster in a 7-game series, nobody would want to see them. Well, Jonathan, you said you hope his three-point percentage is sustainable, and he's at 60%. So what do you want me to say? It's not sustainable currently. Within reason. I'm telling you, reason would tell you that if he can shoot above 35% from the outside, you would sign up for that right now. Because he's never done that in a regular season before. Last year, he was at 34%. In the playoffs, on about 63s attempted, he was at 37% and over 40% before the NBA Finals started, where he did not shoot it well. Let's hear from Nico Batum here, guys. As we love the Batums, and we love the fact that he's back, and we love the fact that we get this from Hoop Jab on YouTube, this audio coming from him. I'll share the screen once again. I'll bring it up on my phone as well so I can hear it. I wish I could figure out how I could hear it through my headphones the same way and at the same time you guys are, but for whatever reason, that ain't happening. Here's Nico Batum earlier today at practice.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in Zoo this year versus 5 years playing with him?
I think losing more, give him the ball way more than we used to. And we know he's very efficient on the block. You know,
he got wide hook, left hook. He got a great footwork. He's big for his size. So I mean, New York uses his body too. So you know, we can see that the first 3 games, like, when they give him the ball inside, he knows what to do with the ball. So I'm very happy for him.
Are there any areas in which you guys are farther ahead than you normally would be?
Defense. I think defense, we knew it was going to be an adjustment. You know, JVG like putting a system for us, and we're working on it every single day. But I didn't know we would be that effective like that early. So it's good now. We're still working on it. We still work on that today, videos, drills, and everything. But we know we need that this year. You know, I think Kawhi's coming back. We need to be a great defensive team, be a top 5 team. We're doing it right now. We can't let go. So now we have a great schedule coming up against a great defensive team. So we have to do a better job in the next 5 games.
What makes the JVG defense different from the defenses you've played in the past?
We're very aggressive. We're very aggressive on the ball, off the ball, like everywhere. Like we try to be very aggressive in every part on the court on that end. So you know, we're making a lot of fouls. I think that's good. I mean, we're aggressive, so that's good.
Chris and Derrick are among the league leaders in deflections right now. I think Chris is at 12, Derrick is 10. In your experience, is that instinct teachable, or is that something that guys just have?
Both, I think. The intensity, the way you read the game, IQ, it's a little bit of everything. So, I mean, those guys, like, they're everywhere. BD's been amazing. Off the bench, putting energy. Every time he's stepping on the court, the game changing for us. And that's why I like playing with him, because, you know, his energy is contagious. So when we go out there with single unit, we just playing great defense and strong offense. He's doing that for us.
How's the team Derrick working with?
Good question. I don't know, running more, like be more aggressive, kicking the ball out, and then find a way. I mean, and especially with Zoo now, the way Zoo's playing inside, I think going to be maybe more like guided around him, so he's going to kick out the ball. I think he has 5 or 6 inside games. So it's going to be huge for us, you know, get to find you if you're open, so let's just get better.
Well, I remember last year, the Sixers, I think they referred to it as like their best inbound passing. I know that those times were, you guys had to close out games, execution, and part of that is inbound and passing. Like, what makes you good inbound? What makes anybody good inbound passing?
Our experience, I think. I know I've been doing that for a very long time. And it's not an easy spot, actually, to be in. You got to make a quick decision. But I think experience, though. I've been around for a really long time doing that, so I just got to read the game in 5 seconds to make a decision at a high pressure, so I've just been doing it for a while. Forgot something. Good.
There was Nico Batum at practice today. Thanks again to Hoop Jab for the audio. I don't think there was any other player. I'll talk about what Nico said as I listening to it through my phone, understandably, with his accent. It made me hard to pick up, or it was hard for me to pick up on a couple of things. I'll get back to your questions here in a second, but just hearing from Batum talk about Ivica Zubac and his quick start, said he's happy for him. We're using him more. That's the biggest difference. I'm telling you guys, it's just about opportunity. It's not he's made some big improvement. They're getting him the basketball. Talked about how efficient he's being, getting him the ball to his spots, ball on the inside. He is a little bit, it sounded like he was a little bit surprised just how far ahead the defense is right now, but they'll be tested over the next 5 games or so. I want to see, I don't look that far ahead on the schedule usually because it gets overwhelming and daunting for me. But if I do, I see, of course, they got the Blazers tomorrow, and then the Suns at home, a home back-to-back. But then they have OKC. That's a really tough test at home on Saturday. Then San Antonio, Monday, November 4th at Intuit Dome. Then the 76ers, November 6th. So there's your next 5 games he's talking about. So OKC, the 76ers, I'm guessing by then they'll have at least one of Embiid or Paul George back. Hoping they're at full strength for those games. The 6th game they play is against Sacramento Kings on the road, so that'll be a tough test. So we got the next 5 at Intuit Dome, guys. Clippers got to go 3-2. They go 3-2. That'll put them at what, 5-3? I'd like to see that. Batum talked about Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, the deflections, their instincts, the intensity they bring on that end. And then closing out games, it's all about experience. So good to hear from Nico. Back to your questions. Robert said, let's get the dub tomorrow. Go Clips. Need to get my big Zoo jersey ASAP. Yes, you do. Legend said, we need a shooting big so bad for pick and pop with Harden. Can we trade Bones, PJ, some picks for Brook Lopez? No. Is that a timeout, guys? Is that a timeout? You think you're getting Brook Lopez for those two guys? I don't know if you knew this, but he's integral to the Milwaukee Bucks and won a championship there. Sure, no. Shooting bigs are pretty rare. There aren't that many of them that could do it on both ends. And Brook Lopez, Splash Mountain, is one of them. Mike Dang said we can't be trading picks. Good point. Jonathan Ing said to Legend, this isn't 2K. Why would the Bucks give us Brook Lopez for our scraps? Thank you, guys. You handled it before even I need to say anything about it. This is what we're going for here on Clippers Talk. Cut off these bad ideas at the knees. Nip them in the bud before these unrealistic trades take root. JJ the Boy said, can't wait for the trade deadline. And I'm already tired of these wishful and unrealistic trade ideas every day. Thank you, guys. Mo Haseen said, LOL, Brook Lopez for PJ is comical. You see what happens, Legend? We're looking for realistic scenarios here. Things that are somewhat plausible. The rest of the league isn't out to do the Clippers any favors. Nair Bot said, we have a shooting big, kinda, in Mo Bamba you're talking about? I mean, yeah, he's not a great rim protector. So he hasn't shot much on high volume. Mo Bamba, when he comes back, I am intrigued by him because he's still young enough where we don't know if he can fulfill more of his potential after being, the 7th pick in the draft a few years back by Orlando. Mo Bamba is a career 36% three-point shooter. And you can say, well, how many does he take per game, Adam? Well, there were some seasons where he took 4 per game and shot 38% for Orlando in 71 games. 4 per game, and shot 38% from 3 back in the 21-22 season. That's not nothing, guys. He took 2.7 per game in the 22-23 season for Orlando and shot almost 40%. Overall in his career, he has attempted 764 three-pointers, and he's a 36% three-point shooter. That's not nothing, really. The three-point shooting looks to be real. Now, can he get healthy? Is he good enough to defend the rim, get boards, do the other things to make the three-point shooting the icing on the cake for a backup big? I think Mo Bamba, if healthy, can help this team. Timothy said, is Bobby Portis good nowadays? I know he's a cone on defense. I don't think that. Does anyone think that about Bobby Portis? I mean, he's not as old as you guys think. He's 29. Bobby Portis has been a really good player in this league who just finished top 3 in 6 Man of the Year voting back-to-back years. I don't know what my man's talking about here. Yeah, he'd be a great fit for the Clippers. Why would the Bucks get rid of him? He's a legacy player who's still only 29. He just shot 40% from 3 last year, 37% the year before that, 39% the year before that. Bobby Portis is good. The Bucks aren't looking to help the Clippers out of nowhere. I had to make this account said slightly off topic, but any insight on how to get refunded for stuff we didn't buy in the Dome? It's been a week almost. You really think I would know that about the flagship store or the Dome? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that happened. What am I, working on the business side too? I don't know. I don't know. I had to make this account. Did you make it just to ask that question? Maybe, call the flagship store. That'd be the best advice I'd have. Jonathan Rodriguez said, T-Man, PJ, Bones for Jeremy Grant. What do you think? I think they probably don't do it because they can get more. And Jeremy Grant makes $30 million per year for the next 4 years. I don't want to pay him $30 million. I know it's Ballmer doing it, but I don't think Jeremy Grant is worth that much, guys. He's a very good player. He's solid, but I don't know. That takes up a lot of cap room. Here's the question you have to ask yourself, Jonathan. Does that get you to being a championship contender? Does it? And Jonathan Ing points this out. They'd be asking for picks for Grant, of course. I don't know. Is that a timeout? Chris G said, how about PJ and Bones for Isaiah Stewart or Marvin Bagley? LOL. We just like to dream. Mo Haseen, this isn't the show for dreamers. Mo Haseen said, this is the show for people who want realistic solutions. That's what I'm looking for here. Mo Haseen said, is it possible Bamba improves his defense under Jeff Van Gundy? He's tall enough to block shots. This is a great point. I do think it's possible. I do think there's untapped potential there with Mo Bamba. I really do. I know he's been frustrating for fan bases because of his potential and having a good game and then having a down game, and the consistency hasn't been there no matter where he's played at. Lakers, Philly, Orlando. But I'm interested to see what Mo Bamba has on this team getting coached up by, yes, Jeff Van Gundy on the defensive side. Jonathan Ing said, Portis is an average to slightly above average defender. There are a ton of worse players defensively. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He's not a bad defender. You can't say that about him. He's not a cone on defense, as Himothy, I think, said. Philip White, I think, said no to the Jeremy Grant trade. BetCC said, sorry if you talked about this earlier, but any chance we see Jordan Miller minutes anytime soon? God, I get this question every day. Getting exhausting. I want to see Jordan Miller play. It could happen tomorrow night if the Clippers handle business against Portland. If they get up by 20 in the fourth quarter, maybe you'll see Jordan Miller. I think there's a decent shot. I think you would if they got up by that. The problem is you can't overlook anyone this early in the season. The Pelicans just got run off the floor by Portland. JJ the Boy said Grant is nowhere near as good as that contract of picks or what the Blazers would want. I mean, that's pretty accurate. Betsy C said Jeremy isn't fixing the rebounding issue either. One of the worst rebounding wings in the league. Ooh, that's a great point. Betsy coming in from the top rope after asking about Jordan Miller. That is, we up in this now. Jonathan Ing is not a casual, Bonesaw. You're trolling now. He is on point. There's no way the Blazers would do that and not get a first-round pick out of Jeremy Grant. That's the reason they signed him, I'm telling you. They brought him in. They probably overpaid him by a bit because you have to hold on to guys in Portland. He's a good asset. He's still in the prime of his career. And at some point, they're likely trading him for a young player, a first-round pick, both, something like that, because he doesn't fit their timeline of when the turnaround is going to happen or if it's happening anytime soon in the next 10 years. Depends on Scoot, a lot of it. I think Anthony Simons at some point could be dealt. Doesn't mean you have to ask a question about him. I had to make this account, said, what is the most realistic trade someone has brought up? Let's see. I don't want to say me with PJ Tucker and something for Grant Williams. I'm just trying to think. There have been some decent ones in here. Some people just said bring in Jay Crowder. Gallo, I don't think helps you enough because of his defense if you want him to play the 4. There have been some good ones. I'm desperately looking for one right now. Jonathan Ing gave me the elbow bump after Bonesaw said he was a casual. I think he was kidding. Bonesaw's too smart for that, and he likes to joke around. Is Brian Seaman? Yawning Tears said, I used to really think we needed a solid starting power forward with size, but now Derrick Jones Jr. is changing that. Harden, Norm, Kawhi, Derrick Jones Jr., Zoo. Who would you bench? Why would I bench anyone? There's your 5. What's the problem? You just benched Terrence Mann, which I think is likely to happen when Kawhi comes back. I don't want to bench any of those guys. Yanni Tears, you put together a 5-man lineup right there. What exactly are you asking? Betsy said most of these hypothetical trades are for bigs or forwards. Am I the only one who thinks they need another ball handler? I don't know if 37 minutes per game for Harden is sustainable. Excuse me. Betsy C is climbing up the ranks right now. That C is not for casual. Betsy is all over it. This is a great point. If KPJ doesn't get better, if Bones is not in the rotation, they would need another ball handler. I think it's too early in the season to make that move, and I don't know who it would be for, but I like what Betsy C is cooking. Maybe that's what it's for. Betsy cooking. The C is for cooking. Chris G said, I don't know why people are so high on Grant. I'm not so high on him. Physically, he's not that great. It's best to make a package for a solid bench player, possibly a point guard midseason if KPJ doesn't work. My point on Grant is he's got a couple more years left on his contract. So if Charlotte wanted to get out of the way of that, or if they wanted to get out of that deal, and if they would take PJ Tucker, like I'm not talking about being so high on Grant Williams. I'm talking about being so low on PJ. And if someone would take an expiring for Grant Williams, I'd probably do it. Grant Williams is a solid defender, man. Did you watch him much with Boston? He's a career, I think, 37% three-point shooter. He's still young. I like Grant Williams. I liked when Dallas brought him in. I don't know what happened there. Seemed like there was, I don't know, bad personality mix. He is a career 38% three-point shooter, Grant Williams. He's 26 years of age. Like, that's why people, look, we're talking about trading PJ Tucker and something else to get him. Yeah, Kuzma's going to cost you more. Nari Bot, he makes over $20 million a year. Yanni Tears said exactly, we are good. So your point was you don't need to bench anyone in this lineup, even though you asked me who you bench. Okay. A little bit confusing. Jonathan Ing said the new CBA kind of makes it much harder to come up with realistic trades this early in the season. Facts. L. Frank has shown to pull rabbits out of his hat at the trade deadline. Also on point. Legend said, why can't Zoo improve his three-point shooting? Improve from what? He doesn't shoot threes. This era, you need to at least practice corner threes. Zoo has practice. They don't let him take the shot. He's taken, you want to know how many three-pointers Ivica Zubac has taken? And some of these are probably half-court heaves at the end of a quarter. So I don't know how many of them are legitimate three-point shots. I'll give it to you. He's taken 12 in his entire career. He made one at the end of the 21 season. I think it was against Houston, right at the end of the year. Last game, got the start to maintain his Ironman, never missed a game streak. But he took 4 that season. He made one. It was early in a game right before they took him out. Like, because it's not that easy, and he's really good at the basket, and that's a really high percentage shot, and he just shot 64% from 5 to 9 feet out last season, Legend, which was the best of any center. Maybe those are some reasons. I don't know. David R. said, I like Dunn as a backup point guard in 32 to 34 minute per games for Harden. Yeah, I just don't know if Dunn's handle and playmaking are quite up to snuff, but I could be wrong about that. He did have a great play where Harden got trapped in the backcourt against Golden State. He found Chris Dunn. He got it across the half-court line and found Ivica Zubac for that and one. Jonathan Rodriguez said, T-Man, PJ, Bones, Cough. Okay, I'm not. That's a timeout. Straight up. People got to learn. I get it. Like, you guys like Kuzma. I think they can get more. I think they can get more for Kyle Kuzma than that. I'm sorry. They're not just trying to help people out because Michael Winger is now their president of basketball operations in Washington. Yeah, boy, Reezy said Bobby Portis trade may be optional if he keeps up his decline against the contending East teams. Give them PJ, Bones, Mo Bamba, and I'd throw in a pick if Kawhi looks right and we're a top 6 seed. They're not going to trade you Bobby Portis for those guys. Like, he's a legacy guy there. Taysian said, I'm not sure if you want to trust Kyle Kuzma's basketball IQ. That's a fair point. I like Kyle Kuzma. Don't get me wrong. Yawning Tears said, sorry for the confusion. My point was we'd have to get a really, really good power forward to bench any of those guys. It was a rhetorical question. I got you, Yawning Tears. Smart. David R. said, don't need to make any trades right now. Let's see what we can do with what we have when Mo Bamba and Kawhi are healthy. Nari Bot said, I meant Kuzma over Jeremy Grant. Contract isn't bad. It's not horrible. I like Kuzma. Don't get me wrong. And the contract is reasonable for the type of player he is. And when he's on a good team, I mean, he was playing defense for the Lakers. I don't know what he's been doing in Washington. But he's 29. He's making $23 million this season, 21 next year, 19 the year after that when he's at the age of 31, and then he's an unrestricted free agent. So it actually de-escalates or declines his contract there over time. Jay said, I was there for that game. I believe that's the same game Boban missed free throws on purpose to give everyone Chick-fil-A. No. The Zubac game I was talking about against Houston was 2021, not last season. Jonathan Ing says, Zoo taking threes regularly takes away from his rebounding strength. Yep. Not good for this team when rebounding is a huge question still. I know the guard rebounding been good, but still early, very early. The talk of the rebounding demise, the book is still out on whether or not they're good enough as a rebounding team. I'm not going to go off 3 games when they don't seem to have the personnel to rebound well and say, hey, it's fixed. They're good. But great point. Yeah, you take Ivica Zubac away from the rim when he's shooting threes. Is that what we want to do? Bonesaw said the Warriors broadcast team said Trace Jackson Davis was going to handle Zoo. They also said he's only good from about 3 feet out. Take the L. I had to make this account. Said, do you think Kevin Porter Jr. gets too much leeway? Do you think the shots he takes are good shots? For the most part, they haven't been. They are the type of shots, though, he has hit in the past. He's a tough shot taker and maker. He is. He's skilled enough to do that. But he hasn't shown it yet with the Clippers. It's been 3 games. So too much leeway? They are searching for something with Kevin Porter Jr. because he could project as that backup ball handler that gets you into your offense, that can ISO some, that can create. They don't have enough of those guys. They're chasing that. The ghost of the 19-point per game guy with Houston, Kevin Porter Jr., is what they're chasing, who averaged 6 assists per game. JJ the Boys said, surprised no one came out here saying PJ Tucker package for Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, it's been that bad. They might as well. Betsy C said, if they end up needing another ball handler, Bones and PJ expiring plus cash considerations could be enough for Clarkson. Thing is, you get Clarkson in. I don't know if he's okay. Man, he can handle the ball. But, you don't think Utah can get more for him? You don't think they can get something more than that for Jordan Clarkson, who's one of the best instant offense guys off the bench? I think that's wishful thinking. Let's see what Jordan Clarkson's current deal is. I think he makes about $12 million. So non-taxpayer mid-level stuff. Okay, is it $14 million this year, $14 million next year, then an unrestricted free agent? You have to look at these trades you guys are throwing out there from the other team's perspective. Why would they want to do that? Mike Dang said Lonnie Walker doesn't have a contract if we need some bench scoring. Yeah. The other problem with Jordan Clarkson is it opens up a hole on the defensive end. He is a poor defender. He hurts you on that end. He might end up being a net negative. Lonnie Walker's interesting. I guess, yeah, he's still out there. He was getting 10 points per game from Brooklyn while shooting 38% from 3 last season. He's only 6'4". His defense has been okay, but it's never been as good as we thought it could be, coming out of Miami. Jonathan Ing said, Kuzma won a championship. We know. With the Lakers. But he's on a tanking team as their best player. Winger isn't helping. Yeah. With us facilitating a trade without picks. Winger's just not going to help them. That's what I'm saying. Kuzma on a good team can get back to playing defense right away. I like Kuzma. I don't like the trade you're proposing for him. It's not going to happen that way. JJ the Boys said, honestly, we can't be making any trades yet until we play more and see Kawhi's progress. Remember, this might be Harden's team, but this team's ceiling is fully dependent on Leonard. Completely agree, JJ. I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. Why are we making a trade for somebody and giving up assets when you don't know if Kawhi can stay healthy? You guys are trying to look for a way to get back into contention. The only way in the end they're going to get back into contention is if Kawhi can sustain a long run of health and prove that he can make it through a playoff run. Nayerbot said, will Harden be top 3 in turnovers considering how much he has to try and create offensively? Maybe. Right now he's leading the league there. He also is leading the league in assists, though. His usage rating is so high, it is understandable. Let's see. Your boy Reezy said only time will tell. Not sure what that is in reference to. Betsy C said, no, I actually think Utah specifically wants expiring contracts. They're trying to create cap space. For who? Who's Utah bringing in, or who are they trying to re-sign? What's the logic on that, Betsy C? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just tell me. Your boy Reezy said, I want John Collins, but Utah going to want to fleece us. We're an hour and 6 minutes in, and someone finally brought up John Collins. Obligatory John Collins talk. Been happening for 3 or 4 years. Your boy Reezy said, I think Denver might get Lonnie Walker. Ooh, that's a good call. I like that. A lot of good comments in here. I think we've only had like one block. Not a block, a timeout. You guys are bringing this up a notch. I'm learning. Nari Bot said, I'd rather see Jordan Miller develop after signing Walker. We don't even have a roster spot. That's a good point. Ryan Rickley said that bubble ring doesn't count. I mean, if the Clippers had won, everyone here would say it would have counted. But everyone outside of the Clippers would have said, no, your first championship came in the bubble. That doesn't count. So, I don't know. Legend said, I would trade Kawhi for Banchero if he misses this season with injuries. Legend's getting a timeout. He's already brought up some really bad trades. Orlando isn't doing that, dude. Serenity now. ST said, isn't the trade for PJ in his agent's hands? No. Like, a team actually has to agree to it too. Link said, yeah, another ball handler is a great idea. Harden looked exhausted when Steph was subbed out on that third quarter after he twisted his ankle. Was it third or early fourth? Harden went for ISO a couple of times. Couldn't do S. I wouldn't go that far. Ryan Rickley said, we don't need Kuz Bubble Boy. Kuz is a nice player. I just don't know how you get him right now. Bonesaw said, the only way we can get back to contention is if we wait and see where Kawhi is. Thank you. JJ the Boy said, legend, a statement like that deserves a damn mute, bro. Ain't no way Orlando is doing that. I put him in timeout. Legend has brought up multiple terrible trade ideas that are so unrealistic. It doesn't help and it's not productive. These are the rules. I had to make this account. Said Warriors announcers were voted worst in the league. Not surprising they'd say Zubac is a bum. Did they go that far? Legend, WTF. Talking about the Kawhi for Banchero trade. Yeah. Everyone's going after Legend. Bonesaw. Serenity now. Insanity later. All right. Any other good comments that will reinvigorate my love for this chat? Perboli said, LOL, some people just throw out random names for trades. Not here. We don't allow it. That'll put you in a timeout. Jonathan Ing said, PJ in for a rude awakening if the Clippers can't find a trade for him. His basketball mortality. Yep. Some guys have a difficult time coming to grips with that. Jonathan Rodriguez said, why are we relying on Kawhi? He's chronically hurt. Clippers need to move into the Harden Zoo era because he's still on the team and it's going to be really difficult to move his contract. There's 2 reasons. Jonathan's dangerously close. That is a timeoutable offense. We're relying on Kawhi if you're talking about contending, which has been a conversation here because people want to get back into contention and they're throwing out some wild trade ideas, I'm saying let's see if Kawhi can stay healthy first, because you can trade for all these guys, but if Kawhi doesn't stay healthy, it doesn't matter. You want to get Zach LaVine? Cool. If Kawhi's not healthy, it doesn't matter. And then Zach LaVine's contract is likely going to be taking up cap space in 2026. Your boy Reezy said Derrick Jones Jr. is having a better start than he did last year so far. Hope he can keep it up. He ain't keeping up 60% from three, but point taken. He's having an awesome start to this year. Derrick Jones Jr., spectacular. Bonesaw's making a joke. If Kai just had KD's skill set. That's what some people have sounded like here. Just very few. 99% of them have been awesome. Yawning Tears said, what do you think of the 7.5 point spread the Clippers are getting tomorrow? I don't deal with the gambling stuff. I am a team employee. I will not be involved in that. Is man going to cover Grant with DJJ? We'll see. JJ the boy said, oh, I took it off the screen. Because Kawhi is that dude that has been there and done that, he's a one-of-a-kind talent. That was in response to Jonathan Rodriguez. That Mexican Nara said, Marion and salary filler for Tucker and Bones. Who's the player? Give us a young prospect. It doesn't affect our core. Not familiar. Kaio? How do you think Kawhi would fit in this new team? Oh, shout out from Brazil. Could you phonetically spell out your name? I want to get it right here. How do you think Kawhi would fit in with this new team? Shout out from Brazil. Ko. I think Kawhi would fit in seamlessly with this team. They have the level of defensive effort that I think Kawhi has been looking for. Because I'm here to tell you, I think last season Kawhi probably had his best individual defensive season with the Clippers, and they still were 16th overall. Kawhi was great. Other guys weren't. You can't just have one guy flying around defensively that can make up for everybody else's mistakes. Him and Ivica Zubac were good. A lot of the other guys were not. Kawhi wants to play great team defense. This team can. Your boy Reezy said Harden playing 31 minutes tomorrow, calling it. I hope he doesn't have to play that many, honestly. I hope they can get him under 30. Jonathan Rodriguez said, you know he can't. I love Kawhi, but it's never going to happen with him, unfortunately. Here's the reason for the timeout here. He's not bringing up a solution. So what do they do with him? You're just lashing out or being a doomer for no reason. That doesn't help things. Pierre said, Clippers lacking so far good shooting. Defense is great. We knew that coming into the season, my guy. That was built in, baked in, predicted. Proboli said, more likely L. Frank pulls a trade we haven't even thought of, just like the Norman Covington move. Yeah. It's not close to the trade deadline, just in case you guys were confused. Because I'm getting so many trade ideas here. Your boy Reezy said, we lack it in shooting, but make timely shots, especially Norm. It's mainly the turnovers as of now is our weakness. Turnovers, they're 23rd offensively, guys. Let me see what they are during clutch time. They had one good game in the clutch. One bad game, 2 good games. I know they have played the most clutch time minutes so far, but I want to see what their ratings are. Offensively, they're 9th. Defensively, thought they'd be better. 16th. I wonder how much of that is just the Phoenix game and getting nuked there. What if I just take out, let me put in some new parameters. So this weekend, what dates do we have? The 26th and 27th. So I'll take it back to the 25th till today. So just the last 2 games, I want to see what their ratings were in clutch time. 3rd offensively and defensively, still 14th. Okay. So the defense hasn't been amazing, but the offense has really stepped up in crunch time. Hence, our guy, your boy Reezy, saying making timely shots. Absolutely accurate. Good call by you. Mike Dang said, as a team employee, are you allowed to talk about other players, guys they could trade for? Nobody's told me not to yet. Yawning Tears said, is Kawhi's defense going to be even better with Jeff Van Gundy's scheme? Yes. Everybody will be better. But Kawhi won't have to guard the top two guys at all. He'll get the third toughest assignment the majority of the time that he's out there. JJ the Boys said, I just want to see Derrick Jones Jr., Dunn, and Leonard on the court together with Big Zoo. I need to see how dominant that defense will be. Same. That Mexican Nara said, we don't need another ball handler. We have Bones sitting on the bench. Yeah, but Bones is a liability on the defensive end. I mean, I want Bones to play. You guys know this. AJ New Kid said, PJ Bones and Man for Jeremy Grant. Timeout. It's not happening, my guy. They're not doing that. We got to be better. Your boy Reezy said we're top 10 in transition D. Makes sense. RDBBC said, so much trade talk when you're doing pretty good. Let's see first. Damn, y'all. Agree. Your boy Reezy said, AJ, man, never getting traded. He's a fan favorite. I would not say never with Terrence, man. Jonathan Ng, talking to Jonathan Rodriguez, said the Clippers are not a contending team this year. Got to lower your expectations. Most likely not a title contender in the foreseeable future. I think that's very reasonable. I also think, man, if this team could just be healthy in a playoff series, they could scare anyone. Gulio said, is it sustainable for James Harden? A load of work with this entity for the entire season at this stage of his career? No. I mean, carry the entire offense is not a joke. Yes. 2024 version of him is truly appreciated. It's not sustainable, guys. I talked about it yesterday. Got 2 shows for you done yesterday on here. The late night one was about James Harden playing heavy minutes already and looking tired, and it concerns me. Chris G said, James, Powell, Kawhi, Derrick Jones Jr., Zoo might just be enough to compete with some of the best. Powell and Derrick Jones Jr. really making up for PG's scoring. Also, Zoo making up for scoring, getting almost 25 a night. And defense, Chris G says. Legend said, Legend is back. T-Man is only tradable asset right now. I wouldn't go that far, but I see what you're saying. Ryan said, if PJ stays on our team, how likely is it he gets traded by the deadline so a team can buy him out? I'm tired of talking to PJ, guys, talking about him. You said my name right the first time. I don't remember what I said. Ko? Agreed. I feel like this is the exact identity that could fit right into Kawhi's primary play style. I'm with you, my friend. From Brazil. I had to make this account, said, would it be a stretch to say the Clips are in contention for a top 4 team in the West if things continue as they're going? With Kawhi, what team is clearly better than OKC and maybe the Wolves? With Kawhi. Kawhi's not playing yet. We don't know when he will be playing. Again, the update earlier from Coach Lue was that they're out the next few games, Kawhi and Mo Bamba. Those guys are coming along, putting in work to get better. There's your update. They're out the next few games. Shocking. Kind of knew it would be that. Pierre said, I'm tired of people saying Clippers might not make the playoffs. Who knows what can happen? The season is young still. Yeah, it could happen. RDBBC said, who cares about PJ? I forgot he was even on the roster. I understand trying to get him off so you can get somebody else on a standard contract, but let me know when it happens. Oscar Burroughs Rangel said, how about Bones? It sounds like the Clippers want to move on from him, even though I love him as a player. What gave you that idea? That he was sent home after the trade deadline last year near the All-Star break with PJ Tucker, 2 guys that were upset they didn't get traded? Yeah, they've been looking for a place to send him, but I don't know if they want to send out Bones yet because that KPJ suspension could be coming, and therefore Bones could get right back into the rotation and get some run. Your boy Reezy said, we can catch OKC off. They're on a back-to-back. On the second night of a back-to-back, it would be the best time to beat them at home, in my opinion. Who does OKC play the night before they take on the Clippers? which I think that game is on Saturday. Your boy Reezy. You're making a good point. Tell me that part of the schedule. ST said, would love to see Kai perform another song. Your boy Reezy said, I'm doing some spectating on that Mavs and Wolves game on how both teams play. A little bit of scouting. Holo Dolo said, so it seems like Kai is only getting minutes in the first half, and second half we go small ball with Nico. It's also matchup dependent. They're trying to win both of those games, and Ivica Zubac played 39 minutes and then 37 minutes the very next night. So that's a big part of this Holo Dolo. And Kai, hasn't looked great in his minutes. He's been a little bit more lost than he was in the preseason, to be expected. I think he was decent, serviceable against Phoenix in his minutes. I expect Kai to get more minutes tomorrow night against Portland, guys. I don't think Ivica Zubac or James Harden should be playing heavy minutes. So OKC plays the Blazers, on Friday night, and then the Clippers on Saturday? Is that what it is? As we get the next 5 games, add into it, Dome. Excited about this homestand. Oscar confirms that too. Appreciate it. You guys are on top of things. As I said, it was just a couple people that were way out there, space cadets, on some of these trade ideas. The majority of you, the overwhelming majority, have been awesome. And I am grateful. This is a fun conversation. I love doing this. Hello, Dolo said, ha, ha, ha. I need Law back on the show and for you to call him out on how he thought Big Zoo couldn't play more than 30 minutes. He took the under on 29.5 minutes this season. I took the over on that for Zoo. He's way over it right now, but it's still too early. I'm not dunking on anyone yet. Calvino Dinero said, where's Bones Highland on the bench? Co said, Adam, you are the man. I just checked my YouTube throughout the day, week, and you are there. Thank you for your dedication to us Clippers fans. Man, I appreciate that, Co. I'm here for you. 7 days a week. I ain't going nowhere. And it's, statements like that make me want to do more content. Rishi Rish said on the bench, responding to Calvino asking where Bones Highland is. Harsh. Oscar said OKC plays the Blazers before they play the back-to-back against the Clippers. That is a good look ahead. Calvino said, why ain't Bones playing? Because they're trying to see what they have with KPJ, and they know what they have with Bones Highland. He's been out of the rotation. He's been almost traded probably. They've at least tried to move him. It's obvious, guys. Bones Highland is probably not long for being a Clipper unless KPJ gets suspended and Bones Highland fully takes advantage of the opportunity. Your boy Reezy said Zoo wanted this opportunity, so he's only proven he was meant for it. You're right. And yeah, Bones does struggle on defense, although I'd say his defensive effort has been pretty darn good as a Clipper, better than I thought it was going to be when he came over from Denver. Your boy Reezy said, how long is the question? Calvino responds, saying, but he can play offensive. He can play on offense, Bones Highland. Yes. Someone responds, there's no defense. He responds, he's literally an offensive threat. He gets steals. He is slight of frame. Yeah, but I get the Clippers rollout of defense right now. They're focusing on defense. KPJ is just a bigger body out there and probably has a higher ceiling than Bones Highland overall. They're trying to see what they have as he dusts off the cobwebs from not playing for an entire season with Kevin Porter Jr. Your boy Reezy said, never thought I'd see the day Zoo have more rebounds than Andre Drummond in any type of basketball game. Good job to Zoo. I'm not surprised. Just give him the minutes. He'll get the boards. He's had a 29 rebound game before. Zoo's been capable of this. I don't know if people were capable of comprehending it, but turns out you got to get minutes and consistent touches to show what you can do consistently. That is what Big Zoo is at. That Mexican Nara said, oh, here we go. Another PJ Tucker trade. Tucker for Dwight Powell gives us a better backup center and gives the Mavs salary relief next year without affecting their core. Gives us a chance to try Bamba at the 4. They're not playing Bamba at the 4, dude. That is a timeout. I've talked about this so many times. Bamba can't guard on the perimeter. If you're playing the 4, you have to be able to guard switchable guys on the perimeter. Bamba's not guarding anyone on the perimeter. My guy, I love you, but we have to stop with that. It's not happening. You understand? Yes, he can shoot on one end, but then he actually has to guard guys who are going to be on the perimeter on the other, which negates the fact that he's a big that can rebound and makes him have to move his feet much more. That's not happening. A lot of people are saying Dwight Powell is trash. Holo Dolo said, I know KPJ has been very bad these games, but that's just what happens when you don't play NBA ball for 1 year. He's just going to need more reps. I'll stay patient. Going to have to. Oscar said, Zoo was great in the Olympics. He's going strong still since then. He's always great in the Olympics. You know why? Because they feature him when he plays for Croatia. They give him touches. That's the only difference. Mike Dang said, I'm really hoping that KPJ thing works out and he shakes off the rust. If he can be half decent, he makes our bench so potent. Yeah, that's what they're chasing. Because that bench unit right now, with him, next to Batum, Amir Coffey, Chris Dunn, and Ivica Zubac, they're a plus 10. So if KPJ's playing better, they might be a plus 20 if he was just knocking down some shots with that unit. Jonathan Rodriguez said, do you think Zoo can make an all-NBA team this year? If he keeps this up, yeah. Rishi Rish said Powell is trash. A lot of people saying Dwight Powell is bad. Your boy Reezy said against the Pacers. Yes, against the Pacers. A lot of guys play the Pacers. How many of them came close to getting a 30-30? If you want to say it's just because they're playing the Pacers who have Miles Turner, like, I don't think that should be a way to diminish what Zubac did. Rishi Rish said, we got done and leave it at that. Daniel M. Denton said, Bamba should play point. Is he trolling? He said Bamba. That guy Spencer said, do you think Zoo will try to get the 30-30 he almost had? He'll try. Calvino De Niro said, for second unit, run Bamba, Kai, Coffey, Dunn, and Bones. It's the same problem. How are you going to play Bamba and Kai? I mean, you're saying Kai could guard on the perimeter? Maybe a little bit better than Mo Bamba, but I don't know if we'll ever see that lineup. Calvino called him Bamba. Jonathan Ing said to Mike Dang, KPJ needs to rein in his game. If he can play similarly to how he did against Golden State continually, he'll be good. He also has to make his shots. The problem is, Jonathan, I think what KPJ is doing is he's getting the bad shots. He's shooting himself out of this slump is what he's trying to do. So if he reins it in too much and doesn't take any shots, he's not going to find a rhythm either. So it's just not easy right now. Your boy Reezy said, this is like basketball IQ school. I like this. That's what we're going for. Casuals not welcome. Oscar said people are basing Clippers lineups based on NBA 2K, not reality. Some people. Your boy Reezy said, say anything stupid, you're in timeout. He said he liked it, the basketball IQ school. It's not necessarily stupid. If it's just not productive and doesn't advance the conversation, that's what I'm looking for. Good ideas. Yawning Tears said only 3 games, but are you aware that Zoo is leading the league in rebounds? I am. I might have said 12 instead of 14. Total rebounds he's leading the league in. Rishi Rish said, right, the only center we needed is Drummond for his price. Yeah, that's not productive. He's in Philly. Thanks. Dom Hobson said, what do you think of Amir after these 3 games? I think he's been okay, but a little better than T-Man, and that turnaround jumper starting to fall in. It's been falling. Amir's been great the first 3 games, guys. Not good, great. Holo Dolo said, I don't want to hear any trade talks until we know the Kawhi timeline. Thank you. It's so dumb to try and add or remove players right now. Come on, guys. Thank you. Mike Dang responds to Jonathan Ing about KPJ. Needs better shot selection. It almost feels like the coaching staff is just telling him, shoot yourself back into rhythm. That's kind of what I just said. Your boy Reezy said, no, I'm saying it's good he did the 29-30. Oh, my bad. I'm going 10-second timeout. I messed up. Timeout to me. Deserved. My bad. Your boy Reezy said no. Yeah. Miscommunication. Legend said, Why you get mad? Timeout. We only here to discuss ideas with you. You should appreciate us. I do. I appreciate better ideas though, and you've asked some ridiculous trade stuff that is not appreciated. There are some dumb questions out there. I am firmly in the camp that there are dumb questions. JJ the boy said, speaking of Pacers, one guy to keep an eye on is Obi Toppin later on. He may be bad at rebounding, but he can catch and shoot and is athletic and a good defender. Just a thought for the deadline. Yeah, I've thought about him, talked about him a little bit this summer. I want to see what his contract is at. I know he's gotten some range, I believe, with his three-point shooting, but he did just sign with Indiana, guys. Like, he just signed that new deal. $13 million this year, 14 next year, 15, then 16, then an unrestricted free agent at 30. I just don't know if they're going to give up on him that quickly. They just signed him, you know? Not a terrible thought, though. Obi Toppin, he shot 40% on 3 takes per game from distance. ST said, grateful to have said only stupid things but not be in timeout. Is that a heart or something else? Richie Rich said, I know he and Philly in the offseason. We should have made the attempt. Cool. They didn't. How much did Drummond get up? Did Drummond get a minimum from Philly, I'm guessing? Rishi Rich said, yes, I did put myself in timeout. Sometimes I deserve it. Your boy Reezy said, Zoo needs to average 11 to 12 rebounds minimum, no question. Anything more is exceeding expectations. Okay, that's fair. But to do that, you have to give him 30-plus minutes every night, right? He can't do that if he's getting 25, 24 minutes. I mean, some nights he still will. Jonathan Rodriguez said, should Amir replace Mann in the starting lineup? I wouldn't do it this early. If Mann continues to struggle, sure. Mike Dang said, for those new to the channel, Adam suffers no fools, will not entertain speculation, and will ruthlessly put you in timeout. It's tough love. It's all fun. It's just to have some stakes, guys. It's just to have fun. I mess up. I'll put myself in timeout. It's just a way to try to cultivate better, higher level opinions, but also have some stakes. It's a game. Your boy Reezy said, how I put the teacher in timeout. You did it because I messed up. Legend said, we could bring Dwight Howard from China for free. He could be a backup. He still got it. Ooh, is that a timeout? Do we know Dwight still got it? Holo Dolo said, I truly hope we can have the game against the Blazers settled by the end of the third so the starters can get some rest. These back-to-backs this early and frequently are rough. Agreed. Great comment. JNCTN said, do you see Dunn as a potential starting 2 or the main ball handler of the bench? He looks stellar next to Derrick Jones Jr. and Harden. Yeah, that lineup right now, let me grab you the lineup data on those guys with the Clippers. I could see him in the starting lineup. I actually brought this up this summer when they acquired Chris Dunn. I said, guys, he's a better point of attack defender than Terrence Mann. At that point, it comes down to who's more aggressive on the offensive side. And right now, it clearly has been Chris Dunn. Coming into this year, the last 2 seasons in 88 games with the Utah Jazz, Chris Dunn has gotten up like 133s and shot around 40%. But before that, he's never been a three-point shooter. So I've asked the question, what's real with his three-point shooting? I don't think we have that answer yet. But if I go through the 5-man lineup data here for the Clippers, if you had Chris Dunn in the starting lineup, if you put him in, I'll tell you what the numbers say so far. Let me see if I can find it here. James Harden, Norman Powell, Chris Dunn, Ivica Zubac, Derrick Jones Jr. That lineup so far in 9 minutes, in 2 games, in 9 minutes, has, I just blew it, has an offensive rating of 138 and a defensive rating still of 100, a plus 38.1 net rating. That is serious. It's also seriously just 9 minutes. All right. That guy Spencer said no one was trying to sign Toppin before, and we had a chance for basically nothing. Basically nothing? I mean, before this contract? Senile said, Zoo, Norm, Harden doing good. Go Clippers. Keep it up. Defense will be okay till Kawhi gets back. I agree. Defense is real, with or without Kawhi. Jonathan Ing said, I call for another timeout for Legend. Dwight Howard, come on, man. That's one. Does anybody else want Legend back in timeout? Brian Danta said, what adjustments you think should Ty Lue make in prep for the next back-to-back, given that Harden seems to be gassed out towards the late game? Number one, take him out earlier in the first quarter. That likely means KPJ will be in early. But the lineup I wouldn't mind seeing early in the first quarter. This means you'd also have to take out Zubac. But maybe you could run Kai with it for a little bit, because Zubac has been playing heavy minutes too. But the other lineup that has been good for the Clippers in 14 minutes, they have an offensive rating of 125 and defensive rating of 89, a plus 35.7 net rating, would be the lineup of Big Zoo as your focal point, with Kevin Porter Jr. at point, then Amir Coffey, Chris Dunn, and Nico Batum. That lineup has been really good for this team so far, guys. Really good. Impressive. Could they start that lineup earlier than just the start of the second quarter, but late first quarter? I don't know, because then Ivica Zubac would have to come out either earlier in the second or earlier in the first. So I just think you have to get Big Zoo's and Harden's minutes down tomorrow night. Here's something we've heard before. We need a power forward. Great, Jolie. Who are those guys? How did they get them? Help me, God. Brian Danta said, what adjustments you think? Oh, we just went through that. Miles Johnson said, Levine has looked so good. Great. Doesn't matter if Kawhi isn't healthy. Again, bringing in one of these guys to get you back into contender status before seeing if Kawhi can stay healthy would not be wise, because you're giving up more assets to get them, and you still don't know if Kawhi can stay on the floor. Rishi Rish said Drummond is available next season. He signed for $6 million for 2 years. We can gladly use that. We're talking about next season. Who's that timeout for, Jonathan? Mike Dang said, I vote we rebrand the timeouts as getting put in the dungeon. You're going in the dungeon. Dunngeon for Chris Dunn. Rishi Rish said, low-key, he right about Dwight. LOL. On Gil's Arena, Dwight Howard said he can play a good 15 minutes for a team. Oh, well, if Dwight said it, it must be true. Come on, man. Yeah, does Harden even like him? That's a part of the equation also. Does he want to play with Dwight again? I don't know. Jonathan Ing said, dang, the Suns are trying to be cute by branding Ryan Dunn as the dungeon so they can say they had it first with their social media hits. I don't know. Carlo's been bringing it up about Chris Dunn for a while. Rishi Rish said, we just need help for Zoo. Carlo Jimenez, that is. They have Mo Bamba. I don't think Andre Drummond's a huge step up from Mo Bamba and his potential, to be honest. I know he's a good rebounder. Some of those stats, though, are kind of inflated for some really bad teams that he's been on. Another reason to hate the Suns with the Ryan Dunn dungeon nickname. Your boy Reezy said, Terrence Mann is for guards like Luka, Booker, Brown, Fox, Edwards. Chris Dunn is for small guards like Steph, Dame, Cam, Maxey, Jamal. Derrick Jones Jr. is for the forwards, of course. Shea, Tatum, Paulo. All those guys can switch, but it's not a bad thought. Brian Danta said, when do we see the red uniforms? I don't know. Some people are thinking not till Christmas. Your boy Reezy said their defense is better for those type of players. To expand on this point, we got an elbow bump between Jonathan Ing and Mike Dang. Chris G said, I know our boys love JVG. Wonder how they see Ty Lue. Don't hear much about him from the newer players. Guys, they love Ty Lue. Guys love playing for him. Why? Because he doesn't overreact after 3 games and make wholesale changes to his starting lineup like most of you guys want. Your boy Reezy said, the Suns stole Chris Dunn's swag. We got to get it back on Thursday. I like this. The leader of the dungeon nickname can prove it on Thursday. Clippers need revenge against Phoenix. Rishi Rish said, I don't think Bamba pans out for us. Well, that was quick. He hasn't played a game yet. Holo Dolo said Harden has been playing the entire third quarters and returning 8 or 9 minute mark in the fourth. I think it's been more around 7 to 6, but I think Harden has to sit around the 4 minute mark in the third. We need Harden mostly to close out strong for us. I agree with you. That's smart. Someone just said January. That's for the red jerseys, you think? Justin Martin said, I know you probably talked about this game last night, but Yusuf Nurkic looked unplayable. I mean, it's one game. AD can do that to a lot of guys. Yusuf Nurkic is playable. We just saw him. Mark Jack said Phoenix wanted it done, but didn't have the money the Clippers had to get him. They only had the minimum. The Clippers could offer $5 million. Was that what exception was that they got Chris Dunn with on a 3-year deal for about $5 million a year? Rishi Rich said Mo Bamba only had one good game, and it was against Embiid. So I get why he's in the league. Mo Bamba has had a lot of good games. The problem is he's had far more bad games that show that those good games aren't coming frequently enough. Co said, hey, when are we going to have an event where we can all get together? Not a bad question. We'll work on that. JMI1324 said November 22nd is when you guys debut your new statement red jerseys. You guys wear them 18 times this year as stated in Locker Vision. Is that true? JJ the Boys said noted. Can anyone else double source that? JMI1324 doing some big work. Our research department here, strong. I say something, you guys grab it immediately. The room exception? That's how you think they got Chris Dunn? The room? Isn't it called? They used something on Nico Batum. What exception was that? I'm not the salary cap expert I should be. Your boy Reezy said, the day Terrence Mann and James Harden start to shoot good from three, watch out. That's an encouraging and smart point. Like the Clippers offense, the reason it's 23rd right now is because guys that can shoot better from three haven't at all so far. JMI 1324 said Justin Rousseau said it on his page as well regarding the red jerseys. Looks like this is facts. November 22nd. I am excited. A little bit of time, but we'll get there. No, because they had the non-taxpayer mid-level exception was used on Derrick Jones Jr., Jonathan Ng. At least the majority of it. Not the full thing, but there's another exception. Holo Dolo said, I want to give props to Bones. I've been seeing a lot of clips posted by reporters of him staying late. Oh, I like this. Working on his shot, running. He's been professional, patient, and a team player. I'm rooting for him. Me too. Great comment, Holo Dolo. Appreciate you. Mike Dang said, Tomer posting Miller practicing has his no-dip threes. He's like that. He's got them. Getting hungry. Hour and 42 minutes in here. I'll go another 18 minutes to get to 2 hours. If you guys want. Exceptions. NBA cap. Biannual is what I was thinking of. I thought that went to Batum. Did they not use all of it on him and some of it on Chris Dunn? See if I threw out biannual. Can anyone else pick up the baton from there or take the baton from there? That's what I was thinking of. But this is all because, guys, I tried to tell you right away. It was pretty clear how the Clippers were building this team when they brought in Chris Dunn. When they brought in Derrick Jones Jr., I said it. They are leaning into defense. Lawrence Frank did a great job scrambling, pivoting after talks were done with Paul George. I posted all these pictures of Lawrence Frank with the chef's hat on, saying Lawrence Frank, L. Frank is cooking. Some people were mocking it, saying like, Chris Dunn, who's that? How about now? Mike Dang said 18 minutes, get the rest of your PJ trades in. That's funny. Who else we got here? Jonathan Rodriguez said November 22nd, the day my son is born. That's awesome. Happy B-Day. And the return of the red jerseys. Greatest day ever. Jonathan Rodriguez, JR. Lot to celebrate on the 22nd. I had to make an account. or this account said, thoughts on doing the following. Bring Zoo out earlier and let Kai and Harden run some pick and roll where Harden can lift Kai's value and then bring in Zoo with that bench unit so they have some sort of floor as an offense. Yes, that's kind of exactly what I was getting at, but you put it better than me. I had to make this account is on fire. Your boy Reezy said, you think we go on a streak or lose one of these games? I'm hoping we go streaking. Old school style. They better at least win tomorrow night. No letdown against Portland. Mark Jaggs said PJ Tucker for Jordan Clarkson. Is that serious? Is that a timeout? JJ the boy said PJ Tucker for a 10-second timeout. Hello Dolo said, I feel like it's important to point out we got a top 5 hardest schedule in the league to start off. If we can get through this with a good record, we're looking at a clearer, easier path forward. I mean, if they could somehow start 4-1 and win the next 2 games, sweep another back-to-back, then it's like you get Kawhi for 50 games, go 30-20 in those games. Then what can you do in the other remaining 32 after you already started 4-1 without Kawhi? Like now you're cooking with gas. But it's all conjecture on whether or not he can play 50 games. JJ the boy said PJ Tucker for a 10-second. I already laughed at that. Your boy Reezy said November 6th, going to be fun as F. LMAO. Paul George going to have PTSD even if we get outscored or blown out. I know you guys are going to be loud for the Paul George return. I just hope he can get healthy. Want to see everybody at full strength, including the Clippers. Justin Martin said, I've seen too many comments about Jordan Clarkson. Doesn't fit this team and will detract from the identity they're building. This is a great point. Next Jordan Clarkson comment, is that going to be a timeout? I had to make this account said, also, question. Can you watch the game for free in the plaza? Do they play the game on that wall next to the court outside the dome? Can somebody else chime in on this? I don't know because I'm inside. I haven't gotten word on that. Chris G said PJ Tucker for a bag of Doritos. I'm not going to comment and say what I was about to say there. JJ the boys said, you robbing them at that point. Mike Dang asks, what flavor of Doritos? You guys are killing me. This is good stuff. A little too good. Some people are commenting on my Twitter at FollowOutOfMay. Someone said people are going way too far with the man hate. Defense, winning plays, always available. Every time we play the Mavs, he breaks Luka's brain, at least in the playoffs last year. That was from my big red dog on X. Are we winding down? Do you guys have more questions? You said Doritos. I'm getting hungry. Oh, so hungry right now. And for Clippers basketball. Glad we got a back-to-back coming up in some ways. More content, more shows, more to talk about, more to learn about this team. JJ the boys said, make it Cool Ranch and I'll throw in Bones. Mike D'Antoni Ball this year with Harden? Huh? Legend says what? Anthony Melton? Who are we talking about here? I'm a little bit confused. Am I the casual? Hello Dolo said, I agree with the prior comment. All these players people want us to trade for have hardly any defensive mindset and wouldn't fit our identity. Yeah, Jordan Clarkson helps you offensively, but is he ending up being a net negative because he gives up so much on the defensive end? Case in point, did you see what the Clippers did to him in the 2021 series? He was being hunted. Moassine said PJ for a washer and dryer like in semi-pro. Mike Dang said Mike D'Antoni. LOL. Oh, Mike D'Antoni Ball this year with Harden is what Legend was trying to say. I think you have to drop the D. Just call him Antoni because they didn't play much. No, I like Mike D'Antoni. JJ the boy said, oh, yeah, what's up with the man and coffee hate? Makes no damn sense. whatsoever. Shame on these idiots. That guy Spencer said off topic. What's the likelihood we retire Bob McAdoo number or raise a banner for Ralph? I don't know the likelihood, but I like both. Mark Jaggs said, I hear Zach LaVine a lot. He's not a defender. Yeah, do you guys really want non-defensive guys? I actually think Zach LaVine has defensive potential on a good team. I think we'd see a different version of him, but he's also extremely injury prone. That's the guy. So then you have to hope that he and Kawhi are healthy enough in a playoff run. And he's got an opt-in for $48 million in the summer of 2026 when the Clippers might go big game hunting during free agency. JMI 1324 said, yeah, I think he means Mike D'Antoni. My bad. 10 seconds. All right. I earned that 10-second timeout. Your boy Reezy said, do you think Harden gets All-NBA third team or Zoo most improved? I get irked when I hear about Zoo most improved because I just think that's a misnomer. Zoo's been this good. The improvement is actually him getting featured. And I know that's the only award that could really qualify or fit, but I think it's off. The labeling of most improved and acting like Ivica Zubac is some different player. No, he's been like this. Now they just are getting him the basketball. Mike Dang said, D'Antoni's got a great mustache. You would get Doritos crumbs all over that mustache. Legend said, are you going to save a beard November? No shave November. I haven't shaved in a while anyways, obviously, as you can see. Your boy Reezy said, I need Norm to drop 30 on Zach so we can get rid of these talks. Yeah, guys, like there's a case to be made that Norm in this new role, maybe Zach LaVine isn't that huge of an upgrade. Nair Bot said, what would you rate Mountain Dew Baja Blast 0? I'm not a fan of Baja Blast. Not my flavor. I know some people love it. I tried it. Haven't gotten a 12-pack of it since. I had to make this account said, in my opinion, Zach LaVine and Norman Powell are almost equal in what they bring to a team. I think LaVine is a step or two ahead of Norm, but it may not be as significant when you account for everything. Like he can create for himself much better than Norman Powell. How much better of a passer is he? That's a discussion to be had. Chris G said Chris Paul coming on Monday. Hope the wall shows more love than hate. Legend said Harden beard would fit you. Give me another year. Jonathan Rodriguez said, I think Zoo has a shot for Defensive Player of the Year. He does if they're a top 5 defense and he's the anchor of it. But again, 3 games. X Mongo Project said Zoo most improved playing time. That's basically what I was getting at. Well put, X Mongo. Soggy Cereal saying Flamin' Hot Doritos for PJ Tucker. Is that still the trade? Justin Martin said most previously held back by their coach's award for Zoo. It's not just coaches. Like, it's how the team was constructed, all the star power, the mouths they had to feed, and players not looking for Big Zoo enough. I'm not putting this all on Coach Lue or something like that. Collectively, he just was not looked at enough by everybody. When you're a team that desperately needed more interior scoring and easier buckets, and Zoo was right there the entire time, and you missed out on that, it's problematic. But there's, blame to go around, and it's understandable with all the star power they've had. That guy, Spencer, said, Zoo has worked a lot with hand coordination, seeing the catches. Guys, his hands have been solid. All that stuff is just, it's honestly, it is a stereotype of Ivica Zubac going back to him having broken hands his first year with the Clippers. And for some people, he could never shake that reputation of dropping passes back when he had broken hands. So now every time he drops a pass, you blow it out of proportion. You go, there he is again, dropping another basketball, even though it doesn't happen that often. If it did, he'd average like 10 turnovers a game, by the way some people talk about Ivica Zubac. Legend said, good night from Sweden. Oh, I didn't know you were from way out there. Sorry for my tales. All love, bro. I love you, Legend. You are a legend. Sorry for my takes. All love, bro. Your takes were fine. It's all good. JMI 1324 said, did you see Deontay Johnson trade with the Ravens? How do you know about my Panthers? I told you about that. We talking basketball. Your boy Reezy said, Harden dropping 27 on the Suns and 34 on OKC, and we win. I'm out to watch the main ops. Take care. Take care of your boy Reezy. I'm almost out. I got 5 more minutes. Chris G said, LOL, all these PJ Tucker trades. Just send him to the shadow realm and be gone for good. Harsh. Your boy Reezy said, Zoo bad game is going to be like 15-11. I hope that's his baseline. That's his floor. Mike Dang said, do you read everything we say? 6 slippery snails slid slowly seaward. 6 slippery snails slid slowly seaward. 6 slippery snails slid slowly seaward. I don't know if that's me getting Ron Burgundy there with the C word part. MKX LNT, or if it's just a tongue twister, said Zoo's hands over PG's slumped shoulders. Grant Mona said the fake out off the pick and roll into a dunk was awesome from Big Zoo. Same with the footwork on the and one from Chris Dunn in transition. Agree. What's up, Grant? Sarah Sheed said, what are your thoughts on Harden almost averaging a triple-double? His numbers might be insane this year. Yeah, but his efficiency is way down right now, guys. And I think that is due to the high usage rating and him being 35 now. His numbers are ridiculous in some ways. He is averaging 25. He is averaging almost 12 assists, 8 boards, but he's also shooting 36% from the field and 19% from 3 in 37 minutes per game. Got to get that down and the efficiency up. Seraphin said, good night from France. Good night, Seraphin. Sweet dreams. Another show for you when you wake up. JMI 1324 said, yeah, you told me you were a Panthers fan. I forgot about that. Is that a timeout for me? That guy Spencer said, the Dodgers sweeping. I ain't worried about that right now. Grant Mono said, have a good night, Adam. See you tomorrow night, my guy. Grant Mono from the Sporting Tribune. PJ Tucker for OG Anunoby. What currency is this? What's 20? That's Swedish krona. So what's 20 Swedish krona to a United States dollar? It's about $1.88. I appreciate it anyways. You guys are the best. Maybe I'll stay on longer now. Y'all going to donate like this. Elijah said, I'm on the boat. Let's get Tucker out, or let's screw him over. Reminds me of a scene from Speed where the guy is translating something after Keanu Reeves said, F me. Whoa. He's underneath the bus and realizes something with the bomb. And it's the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and maybe he was in the show Spin City. I forget the actor's name. But Keanu Reeves said, F me. Guys on the phone translates it to the SWAT team. Oh, darn. F me. Oh, darn. Legend, you a damn legend, JJ the boy said. He is. Legend's a legend. Legend is gone legend. Mike Dang said, I, Adam Oslin, declare that Will Updike is correct and that this is the Clippers' year. I owe him a bag of Doritos. You guys just want me to say anything now? I mean, I will. I typically can think fast enough to not read the entire thing. I just did that a little bit earlier to not say a swear word on the air, even though I could say whatever I want. Elijah, thank you for the super sticker. Lemon character waving goodbye while winking and sending a shooting star. The emoji doesn't exactly translate. I had to make this account. Said Adam, favorite Clippers play ever? Player. Mine is Lou Will. I mean, I love Kawhi, guys. I loved him before he became a Clipper, so that was a big deal to me. I love Sam Cassell. I love Lou Williams. I love Patrick Beverly. Ivica Zubac is up there. I got a lot of guys. And Chris Dunn is my new favorite player. Mike Dang's going to say C&D can clip that audio. Use it against me. Nair Bot said, good night from Atlanta. It's only 7:30 there. Ex Mongo Project said, good morning from the Philippines. Good morning. Lolly Lou C Now said, hey, Adam, keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Here's a tough one. That guy Spencer wants to put me through it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, what's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I could have done better. Jonathan Rodriguez said, Adam, you're awesome. Thank you always for the content. I gotta do better. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Light work. Elijah said, I feel like Bones is the most similar to Lou. That's probably why you like him. They are similar. I also think Bones, this young of a player, has some real NBA skill and could be a backup for a lot of teams, including the Clippers. Good microwave score. Center JR said, Lou will hit in that 3 out of a timeout with 3 seconds left. Which one we talking about? The game winner against Brooklyn? Top of the arc. I mean, he hit a lot of shots against Golden State, but 3 was made by Landry Shamet in a 31-point comeback. ST said Zabars. Center JR said Bones or Miller need to get in over KPJ. Just realized I got to charge my phone here. You guys have had me distracted. Need to get in over KPJ. They need to see what they have with KPJ first, Center, if I haven't made that point as clear as I should have, abundantly clear. Shark in the Box said, thoughts. Bones for Seth Curry. We got a veteran shooter, and Charlotte gets young scorer with potential. Seth Curry is a major liability defensively. If you think Bones is a liability, I wouldn't do that. Clipper Raider said, keep up the good work, Adam. Go Clips. Appreciate you, Clipper Raider. Ex Mongo Project said, PJ Tucker picked a peck of pickled pepper. Shark in the Box said, 2-1, baby. What it do, baby? Oh, am I going to go eat now? Link said, Adam, do you get free merch from the Clips? Sometimes. Shark in the Box said, thanks. All right. We've gotten to 2 hours here. I know there's a bunch of games coming up, so I'm losing some of you. Dodgers have a chance to win the World Series. I hate saying that more than I hate the pickled pepper talk. All right. I'm out of here. I'm outie. I appreciate you guys. Maybe I'll do a Clippers talk after dark a little bit later tonight. @FollowAdamA is where you can find me for all those updates. If you need more, did 2 shows. One late last night talking about James Harden looking a little bit fatigued. One talking about the Terrence Mann issue and him starting slow. Also had Justin Rousseau on. Chris G says, good night from my mama's basement. Let's go, Clip Gang. Let's go. Blake Griffin groupies. I miss my mama's basement. Shark in the Box says, thanks, man. See ya. Soggy Cereal said, you're 2 hours in. Thank you for your service. I'm trying. Center JR said, that's your opinion, Adam. I know Bones would have made some shots. It is my opinion. It's not an opinion that Seth Curry is a defensive liability. That's not an opinion. Bye, guys. AA Goat says MKXLNT. JJ the Boys said, have a great day, Adam. Appreciate it as always. Much love from Elijah. Much love to you. Appreciate the donation to the cause as always, my guy. It means a lot. All you guys. Legend got muted and became legend, went legend later on. He got time outed. All right. Until next time, this has been another